Hi, I'm Leia. I'm 14. I use she, her pronouns. I'm multiracial, and a fun fact about me is that I can solve the Rubik's Cube.
Hi, I'm Caroline. I'm 14. I'm Chinese, and I'm really interested in horseback riding and animals. And a fun fact about me, I have 2 guinea pigs, and I also like to keep really organized. The strongest emotion that I think of when I engage with social media is curiosity.
For me, the strongest emotion I feel with social media would be interest. A lot of interesting things.
I think curiosity is a big role in social media because it's like what is this person doing, or what is that person up to?
Yeah, for me, interest is kind of like you learn a lot of new things through social media. You can see other people's perspectives, and a lot of the time it's very interesting. Sometimes it's super different from what you think, and you're like, wow, I never thought of it that way. So we met each other in 2nd grade in elementary school after I had just joined the school in the middle of the year, and we hated each other because we were in different friend groups that didn't get along, and so we were just we didn't know each other, but we hated each other. And then in 3rd grade, we took more classes together, and then we became friends, and our friend groups, we kind of united them a little bit.
Today, our friendship is a little bit different from what it was in elementary school. We currently attend different schools.
We use quite a few platforms to connect. I feel the main ones would be messages, which is just where we can text back and forth, start conversations and things like that. We also use Discord and Instagram.
And FaceTime.
Oh yeah.
I use Discord there's different servers that you can create, and you can also create group chats or use private messages. And I use it mostly to video call with other people because it's a really easy way to connect.
We are on a group chat together. We also have a private thing. Our group chat is kind of our elementary school class group chat, which actually exists still, which is kind of crazy. I joined study group kind of Discord groups where you can ask questions on quadratic formulas, and then someone who's already taken quadratics will respond and be like, this is how you solve it and stuff like that, and it helps me. So I feel it's actually really helpful with school too. One of the only disagreements I've had online is X is 3 or X is 7, for homework and stuff like that.
Servers that I'm part of are equestrian servers or certain video games servers.
I mean, I'm usually just mainly part of study servers.
Sometimes we both play Roblox on the weekends, and it's really fun because you can join a game with also other people, and there is a chat in the game where you can chat. I think a challenge over online is mostly when I like to play a lot of video games with my sister, and we disagree a lot on which game to play, or if something is unfair. I think me and my sister, we things being very equal, half.
In 24 hours for me, using social media, after I wake up and get ready for school, I'll check my messages and my email so I don't miss any important notifications or things like that I need to know about. And then I go to school. We use a lot of social media in school. Most of our tests and things like that are now online with typing and stuff. For my theater class, we especially use a lot of this because we will look at videos of monologues or movie clips or things like that to analyze and talk about that. And then during lunch, I check my messages and email again, and then I do that after school. For Instagram, I don't really check it all the time. I don't check it during school week. It's mostly a weekend thing because during the school week, it's kind of I have to be focused and be ready for school and things like that, and I don't want to get distracted. When I post on Instagram, I post pictures of my dog. I don't really post that often, but yeah.
It's that when I wake up in the morning, sometimes when I'm getting ready for school, I'll listen to music on Spotify, or I'll play a YouTube video in the background, something like that. I like really like watching Get Ready with Me's, like when people like post what they do to get ready. I also really like watching like videos of what people like study habits that they have. And I really like watching like sports videos or like animal videos. During school, sometimes during like the break, if I have time, either like read a book or sometimes I like to like, just scroll through TikTok, something like that. And then after school when I come back, I'll like while I'm eating a snack, I'll maybe like watch more YouTube. Her feed is a lot. There's like a lot about animals and memes, and like some, and there's like a lot of like some cooking posts.
Little colorful baskets with different creams and perfumes and different bottles. And then there are also a lot of people using the cream. That's like more than half is people. And then I see some giveaway posts as well. Okay, so it's like a pony and a person kind of like performing, and the person, I think it's a skit with the pony, so the pony is trained to like be annoying. It's kind of like a person scolding it, and then it pushes the person over.
I follow this girl named Haley Bailey, and she posts like really funny videos, basically like comedies and just like a lot of things that like almost everyone can relate to. And there's also a girl named Just Cass, her like full name is like Cassidy Parker, I think, 16 siblings I believe, and she has a really big house, and she likes to just like film Get Ready with Me and like a lot of content about her and her siblings.
One thing I get really happy when looking at on social media and online is pictures of cute animals. That just makes me happy, and I have a dog and he's a cute animal, so that's why I post that. And also when somebody will send me a text saying like happy birthday, that makes me happy because I feel like they remember my birthday. That's kind of cool, right? I kind of feel like we're more together, like celebrating it closer together, and they sent me Happy New Year. Wow. Yeah.
Something that gives me like a lot of excitement on social media, like clothing brands or like just like brands in general that will come out with new products and like advertise on their social media account. And I get really excited about like, oh, like this brand is coming out with a fall collection. This brand is coming out with like a new line of like swimsuits, for example.
I don't know, that's just what comes to mind. Like this movie's coming out and I get excited, or a TV show, something like that, and we can like, all of our friends can like share with each other, or maybe just seeing a post of a dog in a Santa hat and I'm like, Christmas is coming up, yes, or something like that.
If someone doesn't text me back in a couple days, I may get a little bit frustrated. When like compared to if it was like in person, then it could be like, then it's like easier to communicate. So sometimes it can be like miscommunication that makes me angry.
When I get frustrated online, sometimes it's when I'm trying to explain something over text, or I'm trying to like tell someone something and they're just not understanding. And it's harder for me to explain things with like long paragraphs and things like that, as opposed to in person where you can like kind of see what the person's understanding or not. And when it's just words, it's just harder for me to explain things, and that's sometimes frustrating.
Sometimes I don't feel comfortable like telling them like right in front of them. So sometimes I may like do it through text, and that helps me feel more comfortable.
If I have a problem, I like to talk to the person face to face so I can see their emotions and what they're thinking. I have restrictions on like things that I can watch. So one of those things is on our family Netflix account. My account is a kid's account, which means all the movies are PG. I mean, I don't really mind the restriction because I think there are enough TV shows that are PG that I can like, you know, enjoy watching them.
Teens normally have like a certain like stereotype, like very crazy almost, like they don't want to study, they don't like want to work hard, or like they just have like a certain mindset of like not wanting to be studious almost, but like sometimes it's portrayed as someone who works really hard, like very diligently. Yeah, so I guess teens are can be like really like outgoing or maybe like more quiet, which I think is like how like a lot of teenagers are. I think Summer I Turned Pretty does like a pretty good job of showing how like teens act. It like shows like internal, external conflicts that a teen may have.
Some things that make me like think that that's not right when in the portrayal of teens would be that all teens fit into like a group, like nerds, geeks, etc., because a lot of people are very like they have different interests. Maybe they like theater and they like math, for example. In media, a lot of times everyone's just put into their own category and it's very like black and white. Teens is like multi-dimensional people, not just someone to be categorized with a bunch of other people and they're all the same and they do the exact same thing and they wear the same thing and they have the same mindset. So that would be,
yeah, I agree.